Hey, welcome to the series of everything you need to know about Python in simplest possible way. In the series of pattern printing, so far we have seen so many patterns. In this video, we will see how we can actually print this particular pattern. So, in order to print this particular pattern, if you could carefully observe this pattern, we have a specific alphabet in every single row here. Right? In the first row we have A, in the second row we have B, in the third row we have C, in the fourth row we have D, like that every single row having a specific alphabet. Apart from these alphabets, we are also having spaces before these alphabets, right? So here you can able to observe the spaces. So first we need to print the spaces, then only we need to print the alphabets in order to get the exact pattern. That is what we have here. So in order to do that, let us go ahead and see how we can do that. As we have seen, we have 5 rows, right? So for that reason, I will take a variable rows and I will assign the value as 5. So after that, what I will be doing is that in order to keep track of these spaces, I will use the variable spaces and I will assign the value with how many number of rows we are having minus 1. Because if you could able to see this particular first row, we have spaces and we are also having this alphabet, right? So in order to keep track only spaces, we need to remove this alphabet. That is what I am doing now here. I am removing this alphabet by 1 and we can able to get the exact spaces. So now what we need to do is that we have tracked the rows, we have tracked the spaces, and we need to track these particular alphabets, right? So to track these alphabets, initially we are starting with the value A, right? So for that reason, I will take the alphabet A here. So in order to keep track of these alphabets, we cannot directly track alphabets directly. So for that reason, we need to convert the alphabets to integer values so that we can able to track them. So in order to convert them, we have a specific methods to convert them, which is ASCII values. So by ASCII values, we have got for every character, we have got a unique integer values by ASCII codes. So if you don't know about ASCII codes, if you don't know about how to convert ASCII codes, their alphabets into integer values and integer values to alphabets, watch my first video about alphabets pattern printing where you can understand that very clearly. So now in this video, we will see how we can convert that and we will be having the information only to print this particular pattern. So to convert this particular alphabet into its equivalent integer value, we will be using ORD method. By using this ORD method, we can actually convert these alphabets into equivalent ASCII codes. So now I am converting this and I'm assigning this into alpha variable. So we will be having this particular value inside of this alpha variable. So now what we will be doing is that in order to generate this many number of rows, I will use a for loop. So for I in range. So now we will be generating the range of values and the range of values we will be generating is how many number of rows we are having. Right. So for that reason, I will start with 1 and go till the value of rows plus 1. So by the functionality of this range, we will be stopped at the value of rows itself, which is nothing but the value 5, which is what rows we are having. So to understand more clearly about this range function, watch my video about range function so that you can able to understand more clearly why I am using this way. So now inside of this for loop, I will print the value of I just to know what value we have got. So we have got the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can correlate these particular values with this particular pattern. First row, we have one value. The second row, we have two values, which is the value of I, which is 2. The third row, we have three C's, which is the value of 3 in the I. So like that, you can correlate these values of I with these particular values in each row. So now what we will be doing is that in order to generate this many number of values in each row, we will be using another for loop. So for that, for j in range. So by using this for loop, by using this range function, we will be generating how many number of values we are having in each row. So in each row, we need to find how many number of values. So for that reason, we will be using this for loop. These are repeated, right? So in every row, we are doing that. So for that reason only, we are using for loop. This range, what we will be doing is that we will be starting with value 1 and going till the value of I plus 1. So that is what we have found by using this particular I values here. So this I value here finds the how many number of values we have got in each row. So now that is clear, I hope. So in this for loop, I will print the value of alpha, which is what we are using to keep track of these alphabets, right? So I am using alpha and I will print the alpha not just directly, but by doing some formatting. For that reason, I am mentioning end at the end. After that, after completion of this inner for loop, I will print a new line character. So if you got confusion why I am doing this, watch my previous videos about numbers pattern printing where I have clearly explained why we need to do this kind of a shape. So I will explain clearly for you. So this end parameter will create a new line character by default. By mentioning this space, we will be generating everything in a single line. So by mentioning this particular print, by default we have new line character of end. By mentioning this, we will be generating new line character after completion of this inner for loop. So this inner for loop is responsible to generate how many number of values we are having in each row, right? So that is what I am doing here. So after that, if I execute this directly, I will be getting 65 in every single position. That is not what we wanted. We wanted these particular values, right? So for that reason, what I will be doing is that after completion of this inner for loop, I will be increasing this particular alpha value here. Alpha less equal to 1. Less equal to 1. I have done some mistake here. So alpha. So I am increasing the value of alpha. Apart from this, we need to convert this alpha into equivalent characters, right? So to convert, what I will be doing is that we have a specific method to convert integer values to character values. It is nothing but CHR. This CHR is responsible to convert integer values to equivalent ASCII characters. So now if I execute this, we can able to see the result A B A C C. Like that, we have got the values. That is what we have got here. So now we need to format this a little bit by having these spaces before these alphabets. So for that reason, we need to print these spaces before printing these particular alphabets, right? So for that reason, as and when I enter into this in outer for loop, I will be printing the spaces. So I'm mentioning space and I'm multiplying this space with spaces variable, which is what we are using to keep track of the spaces, right? So after that, I am mentioning end as nothing. So we don't want end as nothing. By default, end is having new line character. If we don't replace, we'll be giving a new character. That is not what we wanted. After that, what I will be doing is that we need to increment increment the space by 1. So if you could observe clearly, the spaces are keeps reducing, right? So for that reason, we need to reduce by 1. For that reason, I am spaces minus equal to 1. So now if I execute this, we can able to get the exact pattern. That is what we have here, right? So now I hope you can able to understand this logic to generate this pattern. If you found any difficulty while understanding, I sincerely suggest you to watch the video carefully once again so that you can able to understand clearly. So now we will be dynamically taking input of rows and print the pattern accordingly. So for that input, I am asking user to enter rows here. So now if I execute this, it was asking me to enter rows. Let's say I will give the value, let's say 2 here, and we can able to see the first row we have A, in the second row we have B. I will give some other number, let's say I will give 7 here. So still we can able to see the first row we have A, in the second row we have B, in the third row we have C. Like that we are going until the value of until the alphabet C, which is the seventh alphabet we have. Right? Now I hope you can able to understand this logic to generate the pattern by any number given by the. So if you found this video interesting, hit the like button. The next video we will see how we can actually print this particular pattern. So this pattern going completely to the right side. We will print this particular pattern in the next video. So to stay updated with my latest videos, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications to all so that whenever I upload any video, you will get the notification. So thank you for watching this video. See you in the next.